Attraction is predetermined. For those of you who don't know what that means, let's say you're in a social situation and you walk into a room, a party. I'll use a couple options. 3 guys. There's me, there's Bondi, my friend who I have a channel with, and there's Norbert. I'm the Chad, Bondi's the normie / high tier normie, and Norbert is the sub 5. If I walk into the room, I walk into the party, already most of the heads will turn. The girls and the guys. The guys will feel maybe a touch of intimidation, maybe a little bit of interest in stuff. Some of them maybe a little bit of hate. The high tier normie will pull up, and maybe there'll be a 1 or 2 girls that are like, oh, interesting, look at this guy and stuff. The guys will not have any effect. They just might be like, yo, who's this dude? And then Norbert will pull up, and a couple people might turn around, and they'll be like, the guys will be like, maybe be like, they'll feel better about themselves, believe it or not. And the girls will be like, ugh, in their head a lot of the time, believe it or not. And what I'm trying to say is, let's say when those girls turn around with a Chad, they are already gonna have immediately the understanding if they're attracted to him or not. Believe it or not, some of them will start even thinking like, damn, I'd like to ride this guy. Or they'd already start getting nasty thoughts. The dudes already would be like, some of them will be like, damn, this guy's a Chad, I want to respect him, I want to get on his good side. Some other ones who are maybe more insecure will be like, fuck this guy, I don't like this guy. Meanwhile, the normie will pull up and he will have to fight. Like, he'll have to prove to the girls that he's worthy. He'll have to prove himself. He has a chance, but he has to still prove himself to the girls in most situations. The sub 5, it's over in 99% of the cases. I don't care what Hamza will say or what this guy will say or what that guy will say, it's over. Unless he's had some crazy social status and a business that's going insane, because there, believe it or not, there'll be more power, because guys will treat them with higher respect, and the woman will have interest in him, whether it's lucrative or for social status, but at least he'll be able to get some of the poon. But let's just say it's your average sub 5, it's gonna be mostly over. The guys will try to find excuses to get out of the conversation if they're talking with them, in a lot of cases, unless not to be like, I'm special, unless it's me, because I actually, since I'm black pilled, believe it or not, if a Chad is black pilled or high tier normie, they, at least I would like to believe, they actually want to give attention to the dudes and want to actually pay attention, because I think it's important and it's actually healthy if the Chad gives attention and respect. If I'm in a social interaction, there's a sub 5, I actually try to give the guy my attention and I try to give him my respect in front of the other people, because that will affect their view. Because if the Chad is like, damn, I think this guy's cool, even if it's by a little bit, it will raise his social status in that scenario. You can call me out if you think it's bullshit or not. That's what I've experienced, and that's usually how it always goes. But it's insane. Attraction is predetermined. So that dude, let's say that guy likes a girl in a class. If the girl is not thinking like, damn, I'd smash this guy, it's basically over. If she's thinking like, damn, he kind of disgusts me the way he looks, however harsh it sounds, as if a guy's actually a sub 5. And a lot of you are actually not even sub 5s and you think you are. Some of you know you're sub 5s, and I raise my hands. But if you're a normie, you're gonna have to struggle for it. You're gonna have to prove yourself. You're gonna have to looks max based off your age. I think there's different age groups. Younger girls to like mid-20s, mid-early 20s, so like the pretty boy. When they're older, I mean, okay, all of them, like all of them, because they're all Chads. Pretty boy, Chad, and like masculine, hyper masculine Chad. But I would say it's mostly the younger girls who like the pretty boy. Then the mid-20s to mid-30s, they like the Chad look. And then after, they'll keep liking the Chad look and also like the hyper-masculine Chad, because it shows security, it's always attractive, and it's always a Chad that usually goes through these phases. These 3 phases, believe it or not. The pretty boy, if he ends up going to gym, he'll become looking more like a Chad, because when you become more masculine, your face kind of fills out. And then when they're older, they'll put on some more weight, they might grow a beard, and they'll get that hyper-masculine look. But that's not what the video's about. It's about looks being fucking predetermined. You want to believe it, you don't want to believe it, that's your own decision. I say you put the best effort you can anyway to looks max and to hustle for yourself, because it'll make you feel, even if it's a smidge more comfortable with yourself, and that's good, because life can be a fucking burden, especially if you're an ugly mother. It can be a hella burden. And yeah, it's predetermined. Supposedly, I don't remember the study, in the first 20 something milliseconds a person looks at someone else, they can determine whether they're attractive or not. And a girl, if she's attracted to a dude, she'll be making it so obvious. She'll be smiling more, she'll be leaning into him more, she'll have her legs open towards him, believe it, or facing him and stuff. She'll be giving him the attention, she'll be trying to think of how it'd be being with him, like kissing him or touching his body and stuff. If the guy's a normie, she'll just kind of put a barrier just so she can judge and see the situation. And if it's a sub 5 normie, the girl will be like, literally like, maybe be looking at the chat or the other girls listening on other people's conversation while the normie's talking. Every once in a while turning around and being like, maybe not even looking him in the eye, or just giving a side glance, and then not paying attention. Some of you might fucking relate to that. I remember in school, when I was in high school, and I was a much uglier motherfucker. If there was a girl that didn't have any interest in me, and I tried to talk to her, first of all, they wouldn't give me light of day. But if I managed to, it felt like I was talking to a wall, literally. And then when I started getting a little bit better looking, maybe like the girls that were a little bit uglier, they liked me, I looked kind of cute to them. And when I talked to them, they'd be like, I'd feel much better talking to them because they'd be like listening to me and they'd be smiling and they'd be like nodding and reacting and stuff, which is now basically the situation all the time, most of the time. But that's what I wanted to say. That's the video I wanted to make. Looks and attraction are predetermined on first impact, and there's nothing you can do about it except try to better yourself, better your looks to the limit that you can. And you know what, guys, I remember when I was less better looking, I would always feel, not always, when I was in a social interaction, there was a guy that was a Chad, it would make me feel really shitty about myself, because I would see how girls would react to him. What is it called? The Chad effect, the Chad halo, I forgot what it's called. And I wanted that for myself, and it'll make it. And I remember when I came to terms that I will not be able to have that effect on women, but I'll be able to have my own effect, which would be much less, till I actually did end up having the Chad effect, because I became a Chad. But yeah, don't be chasing and don't be feeling like shit because you cannot Chad stun a girl or can't Chad stun girls. The beauty of the black pill, the good road, not the going down degeneracy, is to be able to come to terms with the truth and the brutal sides of reality and understand the situation you're in and try to make the best of it. And also mentally, because for your own mental health, you don't just want to be thinking about this stuff. That's where you're sitting in life. It's very easy coming from me. I know that it's easy coming from my perspective. It's like a rich person trying to tell a poor person to come to terms with the fact that he can only have one meal a day or something. But it's true nonetheless. I went through my own experience with looks. You can check another video I have if you want to see how I looked. I have pictures. I was missing teeth, I was covered in acne, I was short, I was a complete wrist cell. And I just remember how it felt, and it helped me finding something I was passionate about. I was passionate about editing and a little signature forum shop I made. And I just came to terms that that's just not who I am. I'm not the Chad guy who will get the girls, and actually it lightened the burden. Even if it was a little, it lightened it some amount. So yeah, that's what I wanted to say, guys. I want to share that with you. I want you to understand that it sucks in those moments where you're just like, I just wish I was that guy. I just wish I was that guy. But if you're not, try to come to terms with it and try to accept the reality for what it is and get closer as you can. Try to make yourself as better looking and also cool in character and as tough as possible, because shit can be brutal, but you know what? We gotta deal with it one way or another, guys. So peace. Hang in there.